welcome back. I found a few images that were online, and you guys sent me a few images that you would like to recreate. So in this particular image, things that I found were really nice that we could use in our particular architectural images were the sofa and the wall accents. The wall accents, I'm going to use a simple EP curve and create that same shape. Well, it's a little bit difficult to see at this angle. We'll try our best. And then we'll loft it to create this particular shape. And the sofa, we're going to create really basic geometry. First thing I like to do is analyze one side of the geometry first. Since it is at an angle, we're going to just kind of start off with the grease pencil tool. And I think that will be our height of it. And since it does go off into the perspective, I'll maybe end it somewhere over here. Alright, so this is a simple polygon cube that will extrude vertically. We'll add a few edge loop tools here and move the control vertex out to match that angle, and then we'll extrude this edge over here, and then after we extrude the edge, we're going to extrude the entire object back in the Z space, and then we'll start to bevel some of the edges. So with that being said, we are going to begin this tutorial. So let's go to create polygon primitive cube, create that shape, go into my perspective view and drag it out that way. So as I'm dragging it out, I'm actually going to start creating the. No, I don't want to create the width of that couch just yet. Okay, perfect. So now I know that this image plane is right along the center axis, so I'm going to move it back like so. Alright. So like I said before, let's close this. We're going to add a few insert edge loop tools. But instead, I'm going to go right into my channel box editor and click on the polygon cube. We can add a few here. And I'll take right mouse click and hold, go to control vertex, and I'll try to align it with that. This here. You'll probably hear a little bit of background music. I like to work with music when I'm modeling. Not so much when I'm animating. I don't know, just kind of different. Everyone's a little different, I guess. Alright. And I know that there's a little bit of curve there. We'll use our bevel tool later to achieve that. If I hold V, left mouse, hold, and bring it up, it kind of snaps like that. So now, I'm going to select the face. Select that guy right there. And we'll press Control E, which is a shortcut to extrude. For my front view. And I'll move it right about here. Alright, perfect. Now, I'm going to select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces, and press Control E. Actually, I'm sorry. Select that one as well. Press W, which is a move tool, just gonna hide this. No, there's a back to this couch, so it's like these faces here. If I highlight that selection, hold Control, and I'll deselect that, or Shift to deselect. Press Control E one more time, and then I'll move this. Okay, this is going to be the depth of my couch. All right. You know what? I'm going to actually select these guys. If I select that top face, hold Shift, and if I can get that guy selected, double click, select all those faces there. So press Control E. Sometimes I like to press W to move. If I want to go back to that manipulator, I just press T, and then I get all the same options as before. So I press W instead. Select that face, I'll hold Shift, double click here. Now I'll press Control E. I'll press W, which is the move tool, and I'm going to press R. I'll hold J to snap that flat. I'll press W, and I'm going to move this all the way out here, and I'll delete that face. I'll right mouse click and hold, go to Vertex, I'll highlight all these vertices. I'll move this back, and I'm going to delete that face right here. We don't want to have double faces when we're extruding. Alright. So right mouse click and hold, go to Vertex, and I want these to align. So I'm going to hold V, drag it to the left, and there we go. Alright. Now I'm going to go to Object Mode, and I want to go to Edit Mesh, Merge. Alright, so now this is one solid object. There we go. Looking pretty good. And I know that I could duplicate this and create the other side. I'm going to create that little section right there. And from that image, it tells me like that's a little wider than what I have. I feel like this is too square. So I'll highlight that section, press W, and just move the vertex points. Alright, there we go. Now, right mouse click, go to face. I'm going to select that face here. I'm going to go to Edit Mesh, Duplicate, and now I'll right mouse click and hold Object Mode, and I'm going to highlight both of those. So there's actually a face right there. So when I said both of those, I meant this piece of geometry and that face. I'm going to hold Shift and deselect that. So there we go. That's the face that we just duplicated. Modify, center pivot, press W. I move this guy over so there's a little bit of separation in between the sofas. Okay. I'm going to press Control E, and I'm going to press W. I'll move this back. I will hold V and snap it right there. Right mouse click and hold Object Mode. We'll go up to Mesh Display Reverse, and there we go. Alright, now I know that this also has the back of the sofa as well. So I'm actually going to right mouse click, go to Face. I'll select this back face here. And I'm going to turn this button on. This is a wireframe when shaded. It helps me to see the wireframe. Alright, so I'm going to hold V to snap that line with this. I'm going to press Control E to extrude. I'm going to press W for the move tool. Hold V and drag this guy back. It's a little stubborn. You have to move. There we go. Select that face. Control E. Press W. I will hold V, and I'm going to bring it up. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Now we need the cushion, and I'm actually going to right mouse click and hold on this geometry and go to face. Right mouse click and hold, go to face on this geometry. I'm going to hold shift, and actually let's select the bottom pieces. The reason why I made the decision to select the bottom pieces is because if I were to move that face down, I'm going to start to move that geometry. So let me show you. See, it's going to start to ruin that geometry. It's not a big deal. I just kind of like for things to be a little more precise, as accurate as I can. I'll do this. There we go. Now I'll select this face. I'll hold shift, select that face, and I'll click on Edit Mesh, Duplicate. So right mouse click and hold, Object Mode. I'll highlight both of those objects. I'll hold shift and deselect that one. Modify Center Pivot, press W, and there we go. Highlight both of those, I'll hold shift, deselect that. So I guess it didn't duplicate that face, which is fine. So let's do it. Right mouse click, face, I'll select this face, go to Edit Mesh, Duplicate. Just a quick tip, if I were to hold spacebar, I can find this little hot box. It says Recent Commands, and duplicate face. Right? So I just duplicated it. If I try to move it up, then I can, like that. It's pretty easy. Right mouse click, Object Mode. Hold shift. Select this guy as well. Modify Center Pivot. Press W. And I'm going to get these to be aligned perfect. So I have to press R and snap. Alright. If you don't like that, just press W. Looks like there's a little bit of space in between the sofa and the couch itself. So I'll bring it down. I'll press Control E, W, and I'll move this guy up. So I'm like looking at this image here and I'm trying to see how far up that goes. And if I go to my front view, if I press 4, I could see the image right behind, so that helps me out. And I'll go back into my perspective. Now I know that this cushion should go to the edge here, so I'll right mouse click and hold, go to Edge. I'll select this edge and I'll move it over just a little bit. I'll right mouse click and hold. Right mouse click and hold. I'll select the interface and I'll move them a little bit of space in between there. So right mouse click and hold, edge. Move this guy over. There we go. Now select this face here. I'll move him down just a little bit. Press Control E, press W, and I'll hold V to snap it right there. Now, if V is like because it's very sensitive, you see I'm dragging up and it doesn't align with the top of that sofa. I'll go up as high as I can before it gets too high above that sofa or that cushion. And I'll drag it to the left and it aligns with that. You just want to do it the manual way, just, you can do it like that. Just eyeball it. It's not a big deal. And there we go. This is just the basic shape of our sofa. Let's work on the legs, and then we'll conclude this with the basic shape of the pillows, and then in the next tutorial we'll go right into adding a little bit more detail and refining some of these edges. So let's go back into our front view. I'm going to create polygon pipe, hold shift. It's asking me to create the thickness. There we go. Now in my channel box editor, I'm going to change my subdivision axes to 4. Okay. And then I'm going to change the rotate, that's a Z, to 45. Okay. And then see that my manipulator tool is a bit off, right? I'd like to rotate it horizontal. So I have to double click on my rotate tool and then change. If I click reset, it doesn't do anything to that. So I have to change this to world, the axis orientation from object to world. There we go. Now I can rotate the Y axis. So it's going to act really strange here. Up. I'm going to modify freeze transformation. And now I could change the rotate Y to 90 degrees. There we go. Alright. So, scale this up a little bit. Right mouse click and hold vertex. Just W. Let's go into our side view. I'll press F to frame in. Drag this over here. It's like those faces. Again, I'm going to turn my wireframe unshaded on so I can see what I'm doing. I'll drag this out there. I'll highlight all the vertices and move them up so that they touch. And now I can zoom in a little bit more. Highlight that. I'll zoom out a little bit. Of course, this is looking a little bit thicker than I want it to be. Highlight the inner vertices. Again, I'm highlighting them, I'm not just selecting it. I'm holding shift, and I'll press R, scale it down, scale it inward like so. Right mouse click and hold, go to vertex, and I'll press W, move these guys up like that. Go back into my perspective, and I think that's a little bit too thick. Let's move it like so. And whoa, oops, almost. Press 4. There we go. And voila. I think that's about right. Right mouse click, object mode, just like this guy. Modify center pivot. I'm going to hold D. You know what? I think it's actually good the way it is underneath there. I'll press Control D and move this guy over. Press F to frame in. Control D to move this guy over here. Control D. And I'll move this guy over here. I'll press F to frame in. And there we go. So that's just the basic shape. Like it's like this leg here. Hold shift. It's like that. This. And eventually this will be a group that I'll duplicate and move to the other side. So, with that being said, this is just the basic shape of our shape, and we'll pick up the cushions and adding a higher level of geometry, detail to this geometry.